What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with Guni straight after a Chelsea loss to Premier League champions Manchester City at home at the Bridge, with what was an absolutely poor performance from Chelsea and a very dominating performance from Manchester City. Before I do get into the rest of the content, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts down there in the comments. You can let me know what went wrong in the game today for Chelsea, or if you're a Manchester City fan, let me know what went right for your squad, man. But yeah, we're going to get into the lineups. We'll start with the home team, obviously being us, the Mighty Blues. We saw a 3-5-2 formation, and I'm not going to lie to you, although it went horribly wrong today, I wasn't disappointed in seeing that, especially after the performances we saw against Villa. Granted, there's a massive growth in quality there, but I did see a lot of positives earlier in the week, so I was happy to see that today, and particularly with the midfield talent that they've got, and we're going to have them three midfielders to help each other out. I thought that was a decent game plan. So yeah, the lineup was big man Mendy in goal, who again has made the case of being one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and may be spoken about at the end of the season as such. So let's watch that space. Centre-back trio of Azpilicueta, Christensen and Rudiger. The wing-back pairing of Reece James and Marcus Alonso. Reece James unfortunately did have to come off with an ankle injury. Thiago Silva did come on for him. Azpilicueta went into the right wing-back position and Thiago Silva took his position. And yeah, I had to bring that up early in the lineup because the injury was in the first half. The midfield trio of N'Golo Kante, Jorginho and Mateo Kovacic, and the strike force pairing of Romelu Lukaku and Timo Werner. On the bench, we had Kepa, Thiago Silva, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Trevor Chalobah, Saul Niguez, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ben Chilwell, Hakim Ziyech and Kai Havertz. For Manchester City, in goal, they had I was going to say Edouard. They had Edison. They had the left back of Joao Cancelo, centre back pairing of Laporte and Diaz, right back Kyle Walker, midfield trio of Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri and Bernardo Silva, the front three of Jack Grealish, Phil Foden and Gabriel Jesus. On the bench they had John Stones, Nathan Ake, Raheem Sterling, Zach Steffen, Ferran Torres, Fernandinho, Riyad Mahrez, Cole Palmer and Romeo Lavia. So the first half, my goodness me, it was so difficult to watch as a Chelsea fan. We were just so negative. Man City basically camped in our half. They were pressing relentlessly high up the field. They were not allowing us to play from the back. They were winning balls in our half. They basically camped, bro. Their wing backs, they pushed them way further up, which meant that our wing backs were pinned back. And obviously it didn't help. It was a massive blow to lose Reece James, because you know the attacking dimension that Reece James offers. Because you saw that later on in the game, the balls into the final third, the crosses into the box, they were just not good enough. Reece James, I believe, would have brought that quality. So it's very unfortunate to see him come off. But yeah, nonetheless, the wing backs were pinned back. The centre back trio I thought were absolutely fantastic today. I don't think they put a foot in wrong, even though we did concede a goal. It was unfortunate. It was a deflection in the second half, but we are going to come on to that goal. Yeah, it was a complete shambles, absolute shambles, man. Defensively, we was containing Manchester City for a little bit, but you just knew with the quality that they had, we couldn't afford to take our usual approach of absorbing pressure in the first 10-15 minutes and then starting to get into the rhythm, because the danger of that is, like we saw today, when you're playing teams like Manchester City with this type of quality, it becomes very difficult to get a foot back into the game. I'm sure many Chelsea fans will agree with me in saying that they were happy to hear the whistle for the first half, because we were just not in that game. And let me show you statistically just how poor, just a few stats of just how poor Chelsea Football Club were today. Chelsea, 0 shots on target. City, 4 shots on target. Chelsea, 5 shots all game. Manchester City, 15 shots all game. Those stats, they show me that we made it easy for Manchester City. We made it way easy for them. We just sat back. We could not get into any kind of rhythm, especially in the first half, man. It was just ridiculous. Like the way Pep set up today, it was perfect. It was very perfect. But I don't think it was the perfect game plan that made City go through this game and get the 3 points. I think it was more of a dissert for me. I think the tactics, Tuchel got it wrong. And another thing is, I think he failed to identify things quick enough. There was just a lot wrong with this game today. The gap between the midfield and the strikers, it was way too much. It made it very easy for Manchester City to isolate both Lukaku and Timo Werner. Lukaku did his job all right. He fed on basically zero service all game. He had 2 terrible touches, but that's really about it. Aside from that, he was holding off Diaz well. When you play ball to feet to Lukaku, you can see nobody can get the ball off him, but there was nobody close enough to give him an option. Same thing with Timo Werner. When he tried to stretch the game and go out wide, there was no options with him because our wing backs were pinned so far back. And this is what goes to show in games like this, I felt like the wing back options should have been different. I'm going to go and say that Ben Chilwell should have started this game. And I'm going to say it's unfortunate that Reece James got injured, because the attacking output that these guys put in, and because they've got pace that they can kind of rely on, they don't have to be pinned back all the time. And I think that our midfield suffered as a result of it. When there's no wing-back option, there's nobody to tuck in, there's nobody out wide, it becomes a difficult game to play against Manchester City. It was just too comfortable for them. Yeah, you saw like when there's not really much positives in the first half to talk about, except that we defended very well, and that just seems to be the story of Chelsea's season. And we can't be relying on our defence, man. We got to be doing the business at the other end as well, man. Seriously. The second half, again, not really much change. City started off with the front foot, but the difference is this time on the 53rd minute, they did get a lucky goal, if you want to look at it that way. Well, if you look at the run of play all game, City deserved to be ahead. So that goal was deserved. Although it was a lucky goal, took a deflection and it beat Edouard Mendy. There was nothing he could really do about it. Can't be mad at it. With the way the game was going, like, did you really expect, like, it was going to take either one of those, you know, lucky goals to be scored or something spectacular from out of the box that either keeper couldn't stop? It was just that kind of game. Defensively, we was on point. Everything else, it was just a complete shambles, man. Loftus-Cheek came on way too late. You can see what a change, what a difference that he made. Kai Havertz did come on for N'Golo Kante. We reverted back to having the midfield pivot of Jorginho and of Kovacic, and you could see that the game opened up for us a lot more when we had 3 attackers. Though I don't really think Kai was spectacular when he came on. You could see that we were still trying to create chances, but nothing was good enough. City, their press was relentless, like I said. They still carried on to press high up the field. They were still getting a lot more of the opportunities. Boy, it's just like, it's hard to do this because I'm just so disappointed at the performance. So disappointed at the performance, man. I don't know. I don't know where to start. I just think Tuchel tactically, he got it wrong, and I expected him to really pick out those faults from early. I thought we might have seen some changes in the going into the second half. Surprisingly, we didn't. But I think this Tuchel has to look at himself and take the blame here, and that's something that he did, because in his post-match he did say Jorginho had some problems, Thiago couldn't start, maybe it's on me, I didn't make the best choices today. Look, at the end of the day, managers, they're always going to make mistakes and defeats happen. I'm very confident with my Chelsea squad. Obviously today we didn't get the win, we were absolutely dominated by Man City, but I think it's more because we was more of a shadow of ourselves. We didn't play the way we normally play, so that's why I said I was very surprised with the result. Again, look, the stats speak for themselves. 0 shots on target all game. See what I'm saying? People want to pick on Lukaku and say, oh, look, another big game where he hasn't got a goal. Well, look at the service that he wasn't getting today. Yeah, when he was getting service, it was too little too late. When Loftus-Cheek came on, you could see that the dynamic changed. You get me? Like, he was picking up the ball, he was driving forward, but he was too little too late. You give him what, like 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to make an impact against Manchester City, who are comfortably defending against us now. It's too little too late, man, unfortunately. But Tuchel's not going to get it right every time. As confident as I've been, like I said, I would have been crazy to say we were going to go through this season completely undefeated. It was always going to be a tall order with the quality that we have in the Premier League. So, on the other side of the coin, it was only 1-0. Another team could have lost that 3-4, maybe even 5-0. But it was a respectable scoreline. Wasn't a respectable performance, but You know, we defended very well. I'm still not very worried about our defense. In my mind, I think this is a bit of a blip. I think we're going to learn from this mistake. Thomas Tuchel is a very smart manager. He will learn from his mistakes, and I think he will go through this meticulously with the players to see where they went wrong. So I think going forward, we still have a very good shot for the Premier League. Unfortunately, we got our loss today at the Bridge. We was actually humbled. Guni especially was humbled today, and it is what it is. One of the main positives I can really take from this game was Edouard Mendy, man. He just keeps coming on week after week after week, and I can't really stop just praising the man. Like I said, if it wasn't for him, it could have been a way worse scoreline. And yeah, I've got to say, Tubes obviously, like, he was doing his job as an Arsenal fan. He's trying to wind me up, but there's a couple of things that he was saying, and I am seeing elsewhere. Chelsea are too defensive. They have too many clean sheets. Okay, what do you want us to do? Concede more goals? A, that don't make no sense. And B, you want to talk about Chelsea being defensive when we average 2 goals a game. Yeah, 6 games played in the Premier League, we've scored 12 goals. What does that average at? 2 goals a game. You get me? So if that's defensive, I don't want to see what attacking is for you. What, do we got to win 5-0 every single game to be considered an attacking team? Come on, man. Listen, going forward, am I worried? No, I'm not. A loss was always going to come. It is Manchester City. Like I said, it's 1-0. Going forward, I have to say, and I've said this in my previous previews in games and even post matches, Chelsea cannot continue to start games so slow. Sometimes we need to hit the ground running, bro. And today showed, especially with because we've got other quality teams that we've got to play. Look, although Manchester United lost again today, they like to turn up against big teams. So we still got to play Man United twice. We still got to play Manchester City at the Etihad. We still got to play Spurs at our ground at Stamford Bridge, although they're not as elite as Manchester City or as good as Manchester United. We still got to play Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. So there are still going to be difficult games, man, and these are the games we're going to have to win to get the games over the line. And I think us starting slow against these teams, letting them have the ball, letting them have possession high up the field, you get me? So we're always defending and sitting back and defending. We can't get away with that if we're chasing a Premier League title, because as you saw today, the quality teams, they will take advantage of that, and it will be very difficult to get back into the rhythm of the game. And it just took one moment for Manchester City, deflection. Well, obviously it wasn't against the run of play. Manchester City deserved it, and there you are. They were very difficult to break down. Massive props to Pep. I do think that Tuchel made it slightly easy for him. But all that 3 in a row talk, possibly 4 in a row talk, is over now. Pep has got his win away as well. Very good win for Manchester City. It puts them level on points of us, Manchester United and Liverpool, who do play. They haven't played yet. So, yeah. For me, it's 3 points lost. I think Chelsea, they didn't show up today. I think it was way too negative tactics from Thomas Tuchel. I think the gap between the midfield and the strikers was not good enough. It was terrible. Lukaku was too isolated. Timo Werner was too isolated. Defensively, we was on point, but just those balls, the transitions into the counter-attacks, the balls in the final third, they're just not good enough, and we have to improve. The wing-backs, they had a very poor game today because they were pinned back by Cancelo and Kyle Walker, who had the opposite. They had very good games today. And yeah, really, who it was in our game, it was our normal faces. You know, Rudiger had a good game. Thiago Silva had a very good game. Christensen had a very good game, and Edouard Mendy had a very good game. But how long can we keep relying on our defense going forward? We need to do better. We need to start games quicker. We need to take the game to these teams, and we need to remember we are European champions. Yes, it's the Premier League that we're playing in, but that European champion title counts for something. We've got to start playing like so, and if we want to be winning the Premier League, we've got to do better. But listen, gutted about the loss. Obviously, my prediction out the window. Never feels nice to lose a game. It is what it is, man. Manchester City, well done. 3 points at the Bridge. Yeah, on to next week. 3 points and a clean sheet, man. Hopefully we can actually do it and Guni can put a smile on his face again. But yeah, before you leave, please make sure you do like, share, subscribe. Leave your thoughts down there in the comments. all of that good stuff. If there's anything else that I've really missed out, let me know what I missed in the comments, man. I always love to hear from you lot. You have absolutely brilliant takes down there. So yeah, thanks again, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time it is in the world, man. Just make sure you stay safe. You get me? Bless.